And we also take issue with the use of competition law to undermine the sovereignty of a national state. In this instance, taxation is the competence of the member states.
This decision follows an in-depth investigation of 2 tax rulings issued by Ireland to Apple. We concluded that they gave Apple a selective advantage over other companies. It artificially reduced Apple's tax burden over 2 decades. This is illegal under EU state aid rules. The state aid decision on Apple does not call into question Ireland's general tax system or its corporate tax rate. Obviously, it is the responsibility of the member state to make sure that national tax legislation, which is 100% a national issue, is upheld at the same time as what we have decided in common in EU state aid rules. Last but not least, state aid control cannot change tax legislation. If tax legislation is to be changed, it's by the front door. It is either in the national parliaments, as done in Ireland a couple of years ago, where the double Irish was done away with, or it is by unanimity in the Council of Ministers. And Mr. Kelly asked about retroactivity. No, this is exactly the way things are always dealt with. If a benefit is handed out as a selective benefit to a particular company, it has to be taken back. And we do that with a 10-year perspective from the date we ask the first question. These tax rulings have been in place since 1998. But we don't go back the old way. We do exactly as we used to do. Maximum 10 years going back. And it's not retroactivity. Not a single rule has been changed. The only secrecy here was the tax rulings. And that is why unpaid taxes has to be paid, just as well as other selective benefits will have to be repaid if they are seen to be illegal state aid.
We agree, of course, there are gaping loopholes in relation to tax law, and these have to be closed and are being closed, and we have been at the forefront in that regard to OECD and MEPs. There is also, of course, envy that we have been so successful in attracting foreign direct investment to Ireland. But I can tell you this, that if these companies leave Ireland, they will not be going to Paris, they will not be going to Berlin, they will not be going anywhere else except Singapore and other places outside the European Union.
You say, MEP Kelly, that Apple will leave Ireland and these jobs will not be going to France or Singapore. I know more than yourself, probably heard Tim Cook, CEO of Apple, on RTE, Ireland's national broadcaster, say that the reason he was in Ireland was because of the people and the workers, and not because of the tax. Do you not believe him? Do you not think we're talented enough to attract them anyway, without becoming the scumbags of Europe?
Madam Gomez, you described the decision of the Irish Government, endorsed by the Irish Parliament by 93 votes to 36, to appeal this decision as immoral. Do you consider decisions taken democratically to be immoral? And any decision we take here in the European Parliament, by a majority decision, can they be regarded as immoral?
Yes, sometimes democratic decisions are immoral, like the decisions, for instance, to endorse the invasion of Iraq. This is an immoral decision because it puts in question the internal market. It violates loyalty among member states. It leads member states into a race into the bottom, and it defrauds our taxpayers, the citizens and the SMEs who pay more 30% tax in the EU than big multinationals. It's absolutely immoral and it's absolutely unsound economically.
Do you think that profits that Apple made on products that were sold across the European Union should have been taxed in Ireland? Do you not think that those profits should have been taxed elsewhere, that Ireland certainly has taxed or taken tax on profits made in its own country? Do you not agree with those statements?
Under the Irish tax law applicable at the time, the head office was neither subject to tax in Ireland nor anywhere else.
What's clear is Ireland did not collect tax on Apple's activities in other countries, on sales of Apple products or on value that may have been added through marketing or innovation. They were to be collected in other jurisdictions.
Apple Sales International's head office had no employees, no premises, and no real economic activity. It existed only on paper. Therefore, there was no factual or economic justification to allocate almost all of the company's profits to the head office. The effective tax rate of Apple Sales International was as little as 0.005% in 2014. It means Apple paid less than €50 in tax for every €1 million in profits. A lot of you mentioned small and medium-sized businesses. These are businesses who pay their taxes. These are businesses who contribute to take apprentices. And if taxes are not being paid by some, then they have to be paid by others.
President Juncker spoke this morning about the need for a political commission. Now, the danger with having a political commission is that sometimes decisions are taken based on politics and not on law, decisions that are more about agenda setting. In my view, there was a clear determination on this case to get Apple in the midst of this investigation, irrespective of the damage done to Ireland. The Apple case will not be decided here. It will be decided in the European courts, and the right of Ireland to appeal this decision must be respected by all of us.
If taxes are not being paid by some, then they have to be paid by others. And that is why it is not fair competition when some member states hand out selective benefits. Mr. Hayes, this cannot be a political decision. It is built on the rule of law. It is built on due process. It will, of course, be tested by our courts because of the completely legitimate opportunity for Ireland to appeal. But the court will hear nothing about party politics or emotions or gut feelings. They want the fact of the case, the court practice, how the cases has been done previously. And that, of course, will be tested. We have a robust decision and we will defend it in court.